and welcome to Design by Teachers. My name's Jess, and today we're going to be running a workshop looking at offering learning support and some different resources that you can use inside your classroom when you're looking at supporting your learners. So Design by Teachers is an Australian network where teachers can share their resources with each other, and you can invest back into each other and share your expertise. So we have typed in here visual timetable. This is one of the items that we'll be looking at today, and you can see all the different types of resources available that teachers from Australia have put up for us. And anybody can access this. You don't need to join to access the descriptions or have a look inside each of the documents. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and have a look at Paula's place. We're going to have a look at her visual timetable here, and we're going to click on the details. So again, you do not need to be joined or logged in just to have a look inside the site and the different resources that are available. So as we scroll down here, you'll be able to see that the different resources, she has over 30 pages in her package that she's put together here. And if you do want to go ahead and purchase, you can do so just following the prompts on site. But these visual timetable cards are a great support option when you're wanting to support your learners visually, so it can help predict their day and they can have an awareness and be able to predict the different lessons that are coming up. If you've got students that have had anxiety or they've got issues with transitioning from subject to subject, or they just need to know, and it helps to minimize their anxiety about what's occurring for the day. Having a visual timetable will really help to minimize and support them and minimize their anxiety. So once you have gone ahead and decided to purchase this item, or you decide to go ahead and make your own, you can download Paula's here and purchase here. So we're going to have a little look inside her resource, and this will give you some ideas of what's exactly inside, and we're going to work through some different ways that you can use this inside your classroom. So what's important with preparing learners visually is making sure that you've got some prompts for them to use. And you can see here that she's actually got some empty clocks here. So this is a really good way that you can use it. So if you laminate this and then use a whiteboard marker, you'll be able to put the times in here and label using digital time as well to help those students. So if you've got students that are a little bit older, and helping them understand when is lunch coming, when is recess coming, okay, when are the different break times. You might want to label your corners for reading and writing and maths, and so you can sort of use these in conjunction with these times up here. You can make a folder with these for the student and maybe your learning support, or you can have like a wall. If these are an A4 size, you can have a wall with over there and you can refer to them. It's just a really great way to help support your learners so they can actually feel comfortable and have a safe environment where they feel 100% assured in what they're learning. It's also a good idea to have visual prompts up here for those students of things that when they're finished and they've got their fast finisher activities. So you can do some posters here to help prompt your students and support their learning. So this is inside hers here. So she's actually allocated these. You can actually set up and have a really large display for your visual timetable. So perhaps you want to lay out your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then you can use the other times, the other posters, to actually label out and show and display your students what's actually going to be occurring. And you can keep the Monday to Friday up each term, and then in conjunction with that you can use your time slots as well. So you may want to make up a whole big board and allocate it to help with your students, and also anybody that comes in and supports your lessons. So say you've got a replacement teacher, casual teacher, you've got your teacher's aides, but perhaps just your relief from face-to-face teaching has come in. So having your visual display out, your timetable out for everyone to see, really helps everybody to work and keep the lessons and the plan that you've got for your classroom all aligned. So it's a really great idea to have a visual support aid. And once again, we highly recommend Paula's option here with a lot of the signs done for you, and having the cute images will really help inside. But go ahead, there are a lot of different available ones online. So we encourage you to set a timetable in place. And the next one we're going to be looking at is an IEP template. So if you've got students and you need some assistance in developing their educational program. So we've got Boost Education here has got a lot of different items up here for IEP development. So you can see here that you can actually for $5 purchase a complete editable file for early childhood, primary and secondary for an IEP, so your independent education programs. The ones we're actually going to be looking at today is the Parental Kit. Okay, so if you have parents that have got students with special needs or learning difficulties and you have IEP meetings, then giving them this kit will actually help them to be an inclusive partnership in the education program. Often this can be a tricky area to navigate. This resource is terrific for bringing parents together and working in a collaborative partnership. It has lots of different tools, and you can see that there will be a complete sneak inside. There's a video to show you all the different tools inside of there, but this is quite an elaborate resource, and that you can actually just give this complete set to those parents that you use each year. A lot of the files are editable. And what we will do, we'll have a little sticky beak inside here as well, just to have a look. So what's really important in creating an IEP is making sure that it is linked to the student and their desires and their needs. We did find after researching up on about this topic that what's also important, that when you have your IEP meetings, you need to make clear to the parent that this meeting is going to be focusing on all the things that your students finds challenging. Okay, so sometimes this can be quite a tricky area for parents to hear, okay, because they're not going to be hearing a lot of the positives, because in an IEP you are looking at bridging the gap of learning. So we're looking at where the children is finding challenges, and you're looking at putting steps and strategies in place to overcome those challenges. So parents actually do find these meetings quite difficult to sit through, because it's not going to be a meeting talking all about the positives and all the wonderful things and the special unique things about their child, which is what we would love to do. So definitely make sure, and that's one of our major tips, that when you do have a student with special needs, make the time to actually connect with parents and talk about the positives as well. But this IEP kit basically gives you all the tools and the forms for parents to participate in. So if we have a little look in here, they've got things like the curriculum planner, so home observations, home strategies. So this is making sure the parent is included in the IEP program. So there's going to be strategies and things that the parent does at home and will find it works. And as a teacher, when you're getting this child into your classroom, using those strategies is really going to help make the home and the school feel cohesive. It's going to create a sense of safety and predictability for the student. It'll minimize anxiety. So you really need to make sure you're working with the parents, and having the different forms and tools allows and provides the parents the opportunity to be included in the process. Okay, making them feel valued and part of the education program. These students with special needs are gifted children, and these parents are going to put a lot of time and effort into finding different strategies that work. They are very gifted parents. Okay, so making them feel included and part of the process is going to help your job to be a teacher. It's going to be so much more easier when everybody's working as a team effort, and just including them will go so much further in helping the child's education to be that much better for them. Okay, so you've got forms here. Look for IEP meeting notes, so the evaluation of processes. So each IEP will have an evaluation process, and this will allow the parent, let them know that their feedback on how things went during the year is important. So setting up SMART goals, information sheets that looks like you have lots and lots of different here, a visual PDF. So having a vision for your IEP, you need to have a vision, and this is something that you get the parent to work as well. So what are your goals for this child? Okay, so having a vision statement is really important. So this whole package is just wonderful. It's pretty much put together for you to be able to hand straight to your parents so they can be included. So here's the PDF. This is the whole 49-page guide that you can have a look through. Okay, so this is excellent. So there's a list of things that are in there. Okay, and it's a complete guide to help ease the parent into being part of the process with you, and sort of helps with the cohesion and just bridges any gaps of learning. Okay, explains the whole IEP process, which can be quite daunting for those teachers that are new to teaching. If you're a beginning teacher, this will help you to understand what's involved with IEPs or ILPs, whatever your state's calling them. And then for those parents that are finding this process early on in their child's life, or with the early on diagnosis and getting involved with being included in IEP. So a really truly wonderful resource that is there for all the different year levels, and there is an IEP sample as well. So look at that, this has got lots and lots of inclusions in there. Yeah, highly recommend. It looks like there's hours of work that have gone into this to help with teachers. So Make sure that that's something maybe you can look at down the track if you're looking at IEP development. The other area that's really important when you're doing a supportive learning is goal setting. So with students that have learning difficulties, or students just in general, that you need to set goals, and some self-reflection and things like that are really, really good. We're going to be going ahead and looking at KLL goal setting posters by Little Lifelong Learners. Okay, this is a really great editable product. You see here it's only $2, but you get all the sheets done for you, and you can print these out, laminate them, and with your white marker you can actually set individual goals for each of them. So when you're coming to report time, and you can really evaluate whether each student is at, some students are really talented in maths and need a bit of support through art or history, or all the different subjects, or maybe there's some spelling strategies or reading strategies, some writing prompts. So having these set up for each of your students is a great idea. Not all of them will need support or need to have strategies in place for all the different areas, but again, this resource has everything there and the flexibility for you to be able to use that. Okay, so this is one of the really great resources. And it's easy to actually implement, and when parents want to see the active work you're doing to support your learners, you can have your learning goals out here written for them. Okay, you can keep this in their ILP, you can keep it in their portfolio folder, you can keep this on their desk if you like, you can keep it in a visual display. So there's lots of different ways that you can do this, but the main thing is to have the students active, and having this out on display so they can see their learning goals, and you can constantly remind them about their goals and what direction you want them to head in, or you can remind them on strategies that you're using for all the different areas. So let's have a little look inside the design, which is right here. So they're all been done for you. It is a PDF file, so what you need to do is, once you print it out, laminate it. Okay, you can set this up to be a whole class. You can set this up to be groups. Okay, so we've got your reading groups, so you've got group red and all the different reading goals I'll be doing. You can also set this up to be individual based, so there's a lot of flexibility in setting up learning goals, but again, part of providing learning support is working with the students and providing a direction and having those little stepping stones out so you can bridge the gap of learning. So we highly encourage you to set some learning goals with your students. And as you can see on the website, we do have a lot of different resources available, but this is a great one where it allows you the flexibility to put strategies, goals, little stepping stones, whatever you would like in each of these documents. The final one that we're going to be looking at today is setting up some classroom rules or classroom posters. So having that predictable behaviour and setting up in a learning environment that is going to allow every child to flourish is really important. As you can see, we've typed in for some posters and classroom rules, and you can see all the different items that have popped up here. But the one we're looking at today is the one from Miss Jacobs' Little Learners, Australia. So she has got 19 different rules all set up, and it comes complete with some images to help. And if you notice, the actual rules are also being put into the positive, which is really good. We recommend that when you are designing your classroom rules, we recommend that you do it with your students, so including them in the decision process. Therefore, they will be more responsible in upkeeping those rules because they will feel a sense of responsibility because they've been part of the process. And B, make sure you put the rule or the goal that you're putting for, put it in the positive, okay? So don't use the words don't. So here we can see we will use whole body listening. So, and working through and talking about what this means constantly, okay? Having classroom rules up as a visual display will help your students and will prompt them. It's a really good behaviour management strategy and a classroom room strategy, but it also supports your learners and encourages them to be part of the whole classroom and just reminds them of the different behaviours that you're expected inside your classroom. So once you have gone ahead and set up your own classroom rules, we're just going to have a look inside the classroom rules that Miss Jacobs has done and scroll down here. So you'll see all the different ones that she's got. Sorry, my thing's just going a little bit quicker. Let me put inside here so you can see. So we share our belongings, okay? So all the different rules, again, just use the ones that are appropriate to you. We are kind to each other. That's excellent. So we help each other. So you'll be able to see, and these are really good speaking prompts. Okay, so when you're talking about creating a classroom and a caring environment and what it means to be a responsible, positive person, when you're talking about growth mindset, okay, so these are really good prompts to have. This file comes in a PDF, and again, once you laminate it, you'll be able to use it year after year after year. And it's a really, really great way to support your learners inside your classroom. So there are four top resources that we're looking at today to help with learning support. There are a lot of variety of similar resources online, but we encourage you that when you are looking at learning support inside your classrooms, that A, you have a visual timetable, B, with your IEP planning, make sure you include your parents and look at ways to include them in the planning of an educational program. Having that visual communication with your students and having visual prompts, and setting up some classroom rules and setting up some learning goals. So they're our top sort of 5 or 6 ideas for our workshop today. We hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you grab your free PD certificate that's available in the description underneath the YouTube video here. We do have a lot of workshops coming up, so make sure you join up to and follow our YouTube channel, and make sure you check out Design by Teachers, and even if you want to contribute a resource and we build together, teachers, a network that is truly supportive, and we work collaboratively and invest in each other. Thanks for listening.